of those things, and how do you think about them?
Yeah, I think the main thing, having a year under my belt, leadership-wise, Coach Brown's seen a lot of great leaders. Colt McCoy, Vince Young. First off, leadership-wise, being the leader of the offense, quarterback leader of the team. So just finding ways that I can improve as a leader and help this, become a player-led team, get as far as I can. There's some football things, moving to the pocket. Coach Brown was offense coordinator back in the day. He's seen a lot of quarterbacks, so just kind of asking little things and anything that he saw, just from his mind, from a quarterback perspective, and just, actually, sitting down and in his office and asking him and seeing his perspective of school. And also, the coordinator was the main thing that's kind of going through his mind, but just kind of take his mind off and ask him about my play was a good perspective. And he just said, get down. He doesn't like me, jumping and trying to jump over some people. He just said, get down, stay healthy. So that was just that. And Coach Brown's awesome. You can't ask for a better head football coach to play for. And just glad I got another year at it.
Drake, what do you see in that matchup with South Carolina, and what do you think about Spencer Rattler?
Yeah, I think South Carolina, they turn it on at the end of the year. They beat Tennessee. That bowl game was crazy. I think last year, 2 years ago here, we the exact same hotel we stayed at for the bowl game. We didn't put our best foot forward. Sam's last game, hey, it went out that way, and then just getting another chance out of it. In my home city in Charlotte. Spencer, has had some great games last year. He's a great football player, and I think he's had a road. He's had to prove himself, and he throws it around. He's got as much talent in the world as you can think as a quarterback. So I think he'll be geared up. I know he's going to have a great season. So just getting ready, having a good quarterback duel. I think it's fun. College football, you got two great quarterbacks. I like to see myself as great.
Drake, you mentioned that you want to win the ACC championship, but say you don't this year, would you consider coming back?
Yeah, I think coming back is definitely in the question. I'm just third year. I want to obviously graduate, and however the year plays it out, I hope we win all the games we can. But coming back and staying for this great university, playing another year, you can't say no to that. It's awesome university, but also at the same time, my dream is playing the NFL. So let this year play out itself. But North Carolina's a special place to me, and I could imagine myself playing 5 years here. So
how much does NIL play into that decision if you were to decide to?
I don't think very much. I think NIL is great. It's great for college football players finally getting paid and getting the money, not really the money, just the recognition they deserve. College football, these players make so much money for the university and so much money in the media world, for these companies. So just NIL, it's been great for football teams and football players to get rewarded, but at the same time, I love the game. I don't love it for those things. So I don't think it'd be that big a deal.
Drake, last year you kind of took the conference and the country by storm with the numbers that you put out there, and now you're going into a year where target is going to be on your back, you're a Heisman candidate, and Sam Howell kind of had that similar situation going into his final year. So what kind of conversations are you two having as far as him kind of like getting you prepared for all the hype that you have to kind of deal with and just, living up to those expectations?
No doubt. I think Sam's one of my best friends. We were hanging out all summer. He's got his own deal. Was in his first day of camp the other day with Commander, so he's got his own thing. But just staying in touch with him, he's great. I think the best thing for Sam, for me, was being in there and watching how he handled each day, day in, day out. How much film he watched, how much he take care of his arm, how much he take care of his body, how hard he's lifted. Just see his work ethic. That was the main thing for me. And now I think asking a few pointers just about. He's been through it, handling the media and handling all the hype. So just asking little things. I'm not going to try to bombard him with what he did in his daily life, but at the same time, like I said, he's a great quarterback, one a great friend, and just kind of learn as much as I can, from how he handled it, and just see things he would have done over, things he would have done better. So.
Statistically speaking, you were the only quarterback in the nation last year to throw for over 4,000 yards, have a 5-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, and rush for over 600 yards. I know that you fight complacency, but is there a moment where you kind of sit back and say, like, wow, that was a great accomplishment, that was a great season, pat myself on the back, and now get back to going?
No, I think that's a great question. I think not only I try to pat myself back like Coach Brown said. I'm trying to look at things I can get better on. I think that's why you have family members. I think my dad and my mom done a great job of kind of like I said, patting me on the back. Seeing the perspective. 1 year ago today, I was in battle, competing every day against a great other quarterback, and now I'm sitting here. The last year has kind of been crazy. It comes fast. Just enjoy it. But at the end of the day, try not to pat myself on the back. Just try to stay grounded and keep, like I said earlier, keep the main thing. The main thing that's winning games and doing everybody can to help this football team win.
Drake, one of the craziest games last year was up at Kid Brewer against App State. Now they
yeah.
come to you. How impressed are you with Coach Clark and what he's done at App State? And
Oh, yeah.
what do you expect from them when you play them this year?
No, yeah, I knew it was a trap game going up there to App State. We've had some great teams. That stadium was awesome playing in there. I've been up to Boone a few times, and they love football up there. And that atmosphere. We were walking in about 9:30, 10 o'clock for a noon game, and the whole student section was there. The whole students was filled on their sideline. So I'm excited for them to come here. I think that was it 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. Coach Brown's first year, they got us in Keenan, so you can't have things like that happen. So just take them seriously. They're a great team. They surprised me. We beat A&M at their place, so they've been some places, and Coach Clark's done some good things there. So praise them, and we're ready for them.
Do you relish all the hype and pressure that's coming with this season for you?
I think just take it with a grain of salt. I think the big thing is. Not letting it, like I said, get you too high or get you too low. The worst thing you can do is, go on social media and read the things that, they say about you. Just keep, I'm here to play football for North Carolina, and all the other stuff come with itself. And, the season goes on. Just worry about week by week. Nowadays college football, every team's going to be good. They're getting transfer portal guys. The guys that aren't playing, the bigger schools going to the lower schools, and the best guys from the lower schools going to the major schools. So just bring it every week and just enjoying it. I'm a college kid. I'm 20 years old. Just enjoying college, and I'm living with my brother in my apartment who goes to school there. So just enjoying it.
Drake, we know the level of competitors in your family. Were there any battles in the off season over the summer, whether that was with a football, a baseball, basketball, anything like that?
Yeah, you talking about this past summer or when?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. We just got this past weekend playing golf. I actually beat all three of my brothers for one of the first times in my life in golf. I'm heading down to the beach with them after we got this week off, so one of the last things before camp. We'll be playing pickleball. Me and Luke, love playing pickleball, 1v1. Anything you can find, ping pong. We go to some late nights at the facility. I go over to the football facility. I think Luke beat me like 7 straight games of ping pong, and I keep on asking for another game. So Luke kind of gets the tail end of, I get a butt whooping from Luke, but we really like to compete. Anything we do, we compete, and just try to stay healthy. That's what my dad says. Not to get too physical. One-on-one basketball, getting a little too physical nowadays, so somebody's going to twist the ankle or something. So we try to stay away from that.
What kind of advice are they giving you ahead of the season?
Yeah, I think Luke, the big great thing about Luke, he went through it. He's been, in a setting like this. It's not oftentimes you get a brother to be in that same setting. Handling the hype. I was watching some old interviews, of him, a few days ago. I think one particularly after the Duke game, him winning. Just seeing Tyson said how he handled the media, and it's great having a brother and a dad who's been through it to give you pointers and just help you go through some things that it's not easy for a 20-year-old or 19-year-old to go through them. So just have somebody there, 2 people there, and my mom's great at it too. Just having ask questions and see advice is awesome.
Obviously, you weren't going to go anywhere, but how crazy was it after the season with the communication from other schools and things they told you and things they offered you? Do you have any stories? Obviously, not any names.
No real stories. I think the best thing about kind of the way we handle that, none of them reached out to me. The big thing is someone contacted my high school coach, but I love playing North Carolina. That's the main thing I'd probably say from all that happened. There's a lot of stories, a lot of rumors, go around of some schools contacting me. I never talked to anybody. I think I wouldn't do that without obviously Coach Brown knowing, and without obviously the team. So I think I love playing quarterback at my dream school. I wouldn't pass that up, and really for me it wasn't really any question to leave Chapel Hill.
Did you talk to Sam Howell about? He was in the same similar situation to you going into your junior season, and he had the same decision that you'll have after this season. What has he told you about that?
Oh yeah, he's been great. Just the way constant communication. He's been awesome. We play golf a lot too. We hang out. We go on vacation together. So just having a guy there who's been through it in the exact same situation and going through it, just being able somebody to ask what do you think of this, and what do you think of these people. We're talking to the same people, so just trying to find ways to use his knowledge and his experiences to his advantage.
Do you feel like you guys could do something special this season, the way things have been building, coming off a 9-win year?
Yeah, I think. Rephrase that. Sorry again. Rephrase that.
Did you feel like you guys have a chance to really do something special this year? Do you sense that in the room, like what coming off an ACC championship appearance, really could take the next step, maybe?
No doubt. I think that's the main thing on our mind, ACC championship. I think anytime you have Coach Brown, guys like Said, John, leaders on this team who want to lead. We're pushing guys in summer workouts. We want to be great. I think good things destined for us. So just trying to, as a quarterback and leader of the team, just trying to do my part. And I think looking for a special season is to be an understatement. I think that's the goal. That's what's on our mind. And I think we got the talent. Just got to be. Like I said, I think player-led team is the main thing, and not losing games ourselves. I think for me, just keep protecting the football, not turning it over, those things and penalties and stuff like that. Just trying to minimize those stuff. Some of the film we've been watching back, and Coach Lindy's been harping on, just not beating ourselves.
I'm sure you've watched the films of the last couple of 3, 4, 5 games.
Oh, yeah.
And what exactly do you think went wrong offensively or changed offensively? Was it defenses adjusting to y'all? Was it something that y'all did differently? What happened over that stretch?
No, I think starting with that Georgia Tech game, I think we had some guys out. Obviously, I didn't play my best game. The way they play, they pressed us up outside. They double teamed Josh. They schemed us up well. Obviously, they got after us a little bit up front. But I think we still had a chance to win that game. I think we were up 21-7 going to half.
17-0.
17-0. We were up 17-0. Yeah, that hurts. It hurts to say that. I think we play that team over from there at the same point. I think it'd be a different story. NC State, I think what they do defensively is awesome. They drop 8 and they'll bring coverage 0 in the same look. So just like I said, finding ways that teams play me. I think as a quarterback going into it, I think a lot of teams play me different. Clemson played me different. They didn't really do what they did against us against anybody else.
So going into year 2, how much did you learn from that, and how much can you use?
Oh yeah, watching games over and over, seeing what they do, seeing how teams are going to handle me. I think that's the main thing. I think because I'm a little different than a lot of quarterbacks or offenses. I think the way we throw it around the yard and the way we can, I can roll with my feet and just extend plays. Teams are going to try to make me stay patient, and I got to learn to kind of take that and just take what the defense gives me. So.
Drake, the experience at the Manning Passing Academy and rooming with Jordan Travis, what was that like? I'm sure you enjoyed it. What was that whole thing like? And what all did you guys talk about?
I want to tell Riley Lear was my roommate too. So became good friends with Riley. Yeah, 4 too. Devin Lear was in there. So a bunch of old ACC guys.
Good Lord.
So it was all of us in there. It was awesome. Manning Camp is, it's one of the best things I've done. As a quarterback, going down there and not only teaching young kids, but getting to hang around all the guys and just like I said, we're all going through the same thing, relate to another, and get this hear knowledge from two of the best ever. Peyton and Eli, and just hang around them and Cooper. It was an awesome experience, and get to know those guys. Me and Riley just played golf last week, so just sitting in communication. Obviously, still a rivalry, and when the game hits, it's no friends on the field, but Riley's become a good friend, and Jordan's awesome down there. So just getting to know the ACC guys. They're all great dudes. And that's the cool thing about kind of these guys.
So the stories were flying there in the room with those guys?
Yeah, oh yeah. Riley, you always talk. He played our game like 10 times. He said, man, I think this kicker missed a big field goal, and we went down there, 2 minutes left. He said, I knew it was too much time. So it was funny stuff. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Drake, I got a question before I ask you.
Yeah, what's up, man? What's going on? You good? I can't really reach it. There it is. What's going on? You good? Yes, sir. What's going up? Toughest defense? That's a good question. I think the ACC, I think you can't sell Clemson short. They got some of the best guys running after you. Clemson's good. NC State's had some good defenses over the years. Anybody that gets after me, I try to think that they got a pretty good defense. So I try to run away from them, but it's tough sometimes. Say that again. Oh, wow. Ohio State, hey, he must be a good player. Ohio State's a great team. So I was hanging out with Marvin Harrison Jr. the other week, so that's pretty cool. I will. Yeah, there you go. I will. Yeah. Okay, I will. Yes, sir.
Hey, Drake, the promo that you and Nate did for the ACC Network, all right, I mean, was that camera tricks, or did you really?
I'm not going to say anything. It may have been. No, I'm kidding. We were about the 30-yard line, and not to ruin the video, they CGI'd it. I didn't put enough effort into it to throw it 80 yards. I just took a 3-step drop and owned it. I could maybe, if I warmed up a little bit and get going, get about 70, but 80, that's pushing. That's pretty good work, wasn't it? That video was pretty good work.
Yeah, you released it pretty easy. I
know, yeah. It's a little too obvious. So
Drake, with Heisman expectations attached to your name, NFL draft, you talked about the ACC championship expectations in there. How do you stay in the moment throughout the season?
Yeah, I think just going by day. I think a lot of that anything in the past kind of haunt me, and I like to not look too far ahead to. Like I said, December when the ACC championship is, or some of the January award stuff. So just keep what matters in football. That's winning games and going after week by week. Like I said earlier, college football nowadays, teams are they're getting better, and all these teams, nobody's an off week. You got to bring it every week, and like we saw last year in Georgia Tech, anybody can beat you any week. So just trying to get these guys going and coming in for 13 weeks, every day and showing up every week. That's what makes the good teams great, and that's what we're striving for.
Drake, after what you accomplished last year, what was left to drive you in the offseason in terms of building a time?
Yeah, obviously aspirations of getting back to the ACC championship. I think we put our best foot forward here. That wasn't our best effort. We had some things in the red zone. I could have done a better job, and just looking back at the games, I think particularly the negative plays. Seeing what I could have done better. I know I missed some throws. I left probably about 500 more yards passing out there from last season. And just being smart when I'm running. Knowing when the smart time to run and get down, and knowing when you try to break some tackles and get in the open field.
On the flip side, what were you most pleased with last year that you kind of want to bottle and, I want to do exactly that again this year?
Yeah, I think obviously I pride myself on my turnover ratio, touchdowns and interceptions. I think there lately I kind of worked in that, but I think the first 10 games I think I was pretty pleased with my turnover ratio, and pretty pleased. What else? I think I did a good job of spreading football around. I think we hit a lot of different guys. Obviously Josh, the playmaker he was. I was trying to find him because he's a great player. But at the same time, we had a lot of guys, with the 90-yard games, 80-yard games, 4 catches here, 3 catches there. And, I think just finding more ways to incorporate the running back in the passing game is another thing I'm looking at to kind of do better, and just check it down when the defense doesn't do anything. And I thought I ran the ball pretty well last year as well.
Under the new offensive coordinator, how is the offensive philosophy changing, and will the run-pass balance change as well?
Yeah, obviously, football. The game of football is about running the football and stopping the run. So obviously, I think running the football is the main emphasis. But at the same time, I like to drop back there and just do what I can do. So just trying to find an even balance. And Coach Brown said it earlier, we're not trying to change the passing game and then reinvent the wheel. We're just keeping the plays we like and incorporating some new stuff and some new minds, and just kind of trying to good balance. Running the football opens up a lot of things, play action, and they can bring more guys in the box that leads one-on-ones. So I think we'll give some defense some trouble. So just finding ways we can use our personnel and to the best of our advantage.
What's the biggest difference?
About NIL legislation lately. I'm just curious, from a player perspective, would there be any changes you'd make to the current NIL landscape? Something that maybe is better for the players?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think one of the best things, I don't know who I heard it from the other day, but I think kind of like the NFL creating a salary cap with NIL. That where each team and each league spend the same amount of money on players. Whether how much you're giving players, just even earning money company wise. I think that's different. That makes it tough question. But from the university itself, the collectives, I think the teams with more money can get the better players. So just trying to find a way to even out that spread between all the ACC schools. But at the same time, you get in that argument of Clemson's got more, they raise more money, and versus us or down there in Florida State, they got a lot of down there, so it's kind of capping them. But at the same time, I think it even it out and kind of not make a lot of teams heavier than the other.
Would you be comfortable if that all that money from all the collectives was public rather than private? If it was kind of like the money was out there, similar to we know what NFL players make. Would that be better for you guys or worse?
I don't know. I think that's a good question. I think it's a lot for college kids to have their public knowledge out there, especially if you're an 18-year-old getting paid. It's a little different when you turn professional. But I don't know about public. But that's a good question. I think it'd be good for public knowledge to be within the team, just so everybody's honest and everybody knows what's going on. But public knowledge with in the entire world, I think it'd be weird, going in class and, a student beside you says, hey, you're making, 50 grand a year, what's going on, so.
What about legislation to protect you guys, like help you find better representation, like legitimate stuff? Do you think that's needed right now?
I think it's a big deal. Try to, some people out there are taking advantage of college football players that may not have, great people around them to make decisions. I think that's what college football programs, I think, can step in, and I think North Carolina does a great job of kind of taking care of us and being smart with who we talk to and who we shake hands with. So just like I said, protecting us. I think protecting college football players. That's the main thing a college football player wants. Make smart decisions.
You talked about defense earlier. Anything you learned from that game, take away from that game to grow and improve?
No, I think. First off, take what defense gives me. I think I tried to stretch the field some plays. I should have just checked it down. Down there in the red zone, just find ways I can hurt them, in the air and on the ground. I think the first drive I ran one in, and I think they were worried about me running a little bit. But they got great players, so I think the best thing for Clemson is before the snap, kind of study them up down there and study them up on every look they got. But like I said, they threw some different stuff at us that we didn't see in the film. So they brought in some new personnel, and they got great players at the end of the day. They're going to have players make plays. You're not going to win every play. So just bouncing back from negative plays and going back after it.
Playing 5 games without Antoine Green last year, 3 games without Josh Downs. Does that better equip you guys coming into this season having gone through that?
Oh, yeah. I think some of my best friends from my roommates the first 2 years, Gavin and Kobe stepped up big. Bryson in my class, another guy. Guys like John and Kamari, I'm using tight ends more. I think that's sometimes we played our best football. We weren't narrowing in on just trying to get Josh and Antoine touches. Like App State, we do it around the yard, not having them out there. And we just played football. Went out there and played, and not worried about, hey, if Josh one-on-one, throw him here, or if Antoine's got a one-on-one fade, try to look at him here. So it's like those are the games where, it's like you're just going there playing football and not worried about, which guy needs the ball, and just take what defense gets.
As a Charlotte kid, how cool is it to play here, especially in high school? You were supposed to play here, but COVID took that away.
Yeah, I know. That was one of the killer things. We were supposed to play Charlotte Catholic my senior year here, and COVID took that away. That was going to be really cool. I don't know if it was Catholic. It may have been South Point. South Point? It was South Point. Yeah, it was South Point. My fault. Coach Cavick, my old high school coach, he still talks about that, how much of a bummer that was. I was talking to Sed earlier. I played Sed in the same city twice. I think we whooped them both times. But just having all the guys, Powers from here, he won a state championship here in Charlotte. A lot of the guys, some of my best friends, Bryson Nesbitt from Charlotte. Just having those guys coming back here and playing in front of our home city, and games coming up here, going to Carolina for the Panthers games, and just having that field is pretty cool. So I think we need to try to find a way to win one here. We played very well in Charlotte, so trying to change that narrative and have fun. This is what you dream of as a kid. So getting that opportunity to play here is nice.
Drake, you talked about Clyde Christensen in there. What are a few things you've been able to pick up from practice your time?
Yeah, just watching some tape back of Tom and those guys. How consistent they are mechanically. I think sometimes I get a little antsy back there in the pocket. They get my feet to different places. The main thing I saw from Tom and Peyton and those guys, how consistent they are with their footwork and their throwing motion. No matter the defensive lineman was here or pushing them here, they got back to the same spot and everything looked the same. Just knowing that, and Coach Christian just studying the games, how those guys study. Looking back at some of the old Peyton's pregame notes, that stuff's awesome. I love that type of stuff. You don't get the opportunity every day. Kind of look at that type of stuff, and like I said, soak it all in.
You got the quarterback fraternity when you were up there, and Riley and Leonard talked about and all that stuff. What is it about quarterbacks and kind of that fraternity? You guys are obviously competing against each other, but in some ways you're all in it together.
Oh yeah, I think we're all going through the same thing. Riley's become a good friend. He was my direct roommate down there at the Manning camp. We basically did everything together. We realized turning a year backwards, and I'm probably hating Riley's running a 70-yard touchdown on us. So just getting to know him and see where he's from, and talk about some of the same conversations, and seeing some of the stuff our defense does to him and what his defense does to me. Talking like that, you don't get those conversations from anywhere else. And, how genuine these guys are. Sometimes you think these guys won't be as cool as they are, and they're awesome. So I've been a big fan of everybody I've met in the ACC, and even now the ACC as quarterback. So it's been awesome to get to know those guys and pick their brains and see what they're doing.
You said he talked
He might have mentioned some officiating.
Yeah, I don't think it was officiating. Avi did mention that. I forget what the penalty was. I don't know if it was something with the lineman downfield or something. I'm not sure what it was. I think you remember being mad at it. But yeah, it's always trash talk. It's competitive. I mean, it's Duke Carolina. It's rivalry. It's obviously not the basketball rivalry, but hey, we're still bad blood between down Tobacco Road. So I think that game that'll be tough. Duke's got it going. They got some good players. Coach Delco's doing a great job, and Riley's a great player. So we got our hands full, and they come to our place. We'll be ready.
Coach was just talking about you're getting other guys involved with NIL opportunities and the commercial that you guys did with I think the offensive lineman maybe.
Yeah, who was talking about it? You said?
Coach just now.
Oh yeah.
So could you? What was that all about? The commercial with the lineman.
Yeah.
And as a leader, as a guy, do you kind of feel obligated, or what is your feeling on making sure everybody, the pie gets split up and everybody is?
Oh yeah, I think that's a big thing. Making sure everybody gets taken care of. That matters to me, especially my linemen. I think they had a heating and cooling company come to us and come to me and wanted to do something with commercials. So I got my linemen out there. We were all in our jerseys on the field, and they had some of their heating and cooling units out there, and they had some lines like, "We protect our quarterback," like this company protects your house with cool air and stuff. So it was funny. It was awesome to get some of those guys out there and get them incorporated. It was more funny than anything. They enjoyed it, and just trying to get them, and I'm trying to get some little gifts. I got them some headphones during the season. I got some sunglasses for the receivers. I got them Jimmy Seafood thing with the receivers. So just trying to incorporate everybody. I think I need to do a better job of incorporating the defense more. Try to take care of my guys on the offensive side. But at the end of the day, it's a team thing, so I need to get everybody involved. But I try to take what the blessings that are coming to me and try to provide them and spread them around to the team. That's what it's about.
How much does that really contribute to chemistry and to building
no
a
doubt.
team?
I think you do something for somebody. I think it tends to go in the right direction. They care about you, and it's genuine. I try to do genuine things and let them know that I care about them, and not just my teammates, but as a friend and outside of football. I try to spread around and go with some guys. And I need to take the linemen out more because the season's approaching fast, and I take them out for dinner more. So some of those guys are my best friends. Corey Gaynor and some of those guys, they're awesome. So
very cool.
Thank you.
You brought in two.
That a little bit. NIL pretty much started your true freshman season. That's kind of when it really got it. How has that kind of impacted? Has your college experience been kind of different than maybe you anticipated it? Since it is pretty much.
I was honestly just shocked. When you first hear the news, obviously you're excited as a college football player to kind of get rewarded. But at the same time, I wouldn't. I try to picture myself of starting this past year and having a great season. But the things that come at you, they come at you fast. I wasn't necessarily not ready for it, but it threw me for a loop a little bit. Some of these things are cool. I was out there with the Rock out there in LA a couple weeks ago doing a little commercial shoot. So that stuff you don't experience that every day. NIL has changed our lives as college football players. Like I just mentioned, trying to get other guys on my team involved and doing what matters.
You brought in two talented transfer wide receivers. Yeah. What kind of role did you play in convincing them to come, and how has it been developing chemistry with those two?
I was definitely the main recruiter. I'm trying to get the guys that I want. Sitting down there, watching through their game tape. I was there in the very early stages, watching their highlight films and watching their drop passes on PFF. So I played a big role. I wouldn't say I was a closer, but I think I played a big part in getting those guys, getting Tez and Nate here, and I think they'll make big dividends in this season. And I'm just looking forward to having those guys out there and get back to throwing some passes. It gets me amped up. I'm here talking about all this football, and got another month to wait. So.
What skill set are you looking for in a receiver? When you say you're watching some film, what are the skill sets you're looking for to fit with you?
Right off the bat, I think just catching it, how they catch it, how they pluck it. Is it awkward? How they plucking it? The best thing a receiver can have is you don't got to throw it right in stride or right in their numbers for the catch. If they got a catch radius, how natural they look. Making catches outside the frame and just love football. I think that's the main thing with receiver. A lot of times receivers, they kind of be the cool guys and they want to make the flashy plays and have all the swag on. These guys that love football want to get better, watch tape, and really ask me to throw, not me just always, hey, come over to the facility and let's toss it around. Guys that are asking me to come get extra work, that's the guys I look for. That's the guys, don't put myself around. And These guys that want to make me better, not just me, dragging them over to the facility to catch balls.
And how do you feel about this receiving corps?
Oh yeah, I think it's been the best since I've been there. I think those guys. I think I haven't, in the group chat, football group chat, where we text them, hey, I'm gonna go throw at 1:30. I think I've had times where every single one of them's out there. So I think that means a lot to me, and that stuff pays off. And it may just be on air, but that back shoulder fade or a dig across the middle. Sometimes they'll be, that replicating that exact throw is gonna pay off.
With a deep fraternity of quarterbacks, one being Shador Sanders, who's just ahead of you in NIL, have you had a chance to really compete with him at all, or?
With Shador? Nah, I think over there on the West Coast, you don't really run into many of those guys on the East Coast. I know he's a great player. They got it going there in Colorado. That'll be fun to watch him do his thing. What do you mean by just ahead of me? What do you mean by that?
Just rankings wise.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think obviously, any way you compete, if you see Colorado in a bowl game or something, but I try to worry about my play. I know he's a great player, and Colorado's got some big expectations, so it'll be interesting to see how they do this year.
Drake, what do you decide which of these opportunities that you decide to pursue? Do you have a team around you? How do you decide which of these NIL opportunities you're gonna do and which ones you're gonna turn down?
Yeah,
you've turned down a lot of.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think the main thing is just how does it look on myself, my reputation. I think it's a big thing. I try to include some companies and just things with tables, fundraiser stuff. Just give mainly giving back, trying to even that out, not just trying to take in the ones that pay you. Just trying to find a good mix and like you said, trying to find something that works my time. I don't want to spend all my time around NIL. I'm a college kid who wants to have some downtime, so just trying to do things that don't involve me. Putting my life into trying to get a check. So.
Jen Lewis with Chicks in a Pie and New Stitched Media. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm great, thanks for asking. So just a couple of quick questions for you. Last season, what was your favorite play that you cultivated on the cusp during game day?
That's a good question. I think down there in Miami, we had a guard pull play action to Josh down at the goal line. I was getting tackled. I threw one up to Josh and he caught it. Got hit a couple times and fell in the end zone. That one comes to mind. Obviously, that last play against Duke, that one comes to mind. Throwing a game-winning touchdown. That one was probably one of my favorite ones. So just any time where we were in the game, a big play that ended up in a win is probably.
With more closer to the heart, with community involvement. So community involvement is very important to everybody, and NIL has helped out a lot with that. You famously turned down a reported $10 million NIL transfer deal. I've heard that was just gossip, but
it's going to be $50 million in a couple minutes.
It was all over Charlotte Reddit. But have you been able to utilize your NIL deals to help give back to the community? And if so, what's your favorite program to give to and work with?
No doubt. I think one of the best things I did this offseason was Sam Howell. It was in May. We had a table fundraiser, a company called Table. It's it feeds hungry kids in Orange County, right around Chapel Hill. In Orange County, I think the stats one in every 3 or 4 kids goes hungry in each day in Orange County. So we raised, we had a fundraiser. We had some things we sold. Like Sam was selling some tickets to Commanders games, and some cleats, and Tyler Hansbrough put up a jersey. One of the great basketball players there. We raised over $300,000. For a company that a nonprofit company that raises money to feed hungry children in Chapel Hill. It's one of the coolest things I thought we did.
Awesome. And last question: which of your brothers, or was it your father, who helped really build your competitive nature?
I think it probably have to say all of them together. I think it started with obviously my dad and mom. They were real competitive. Both 3-sport athletes in high school in Charlotte. But at the end of the day, we all love competing. Luke's probably the one me and him go at it the most with banter. So any time of day, he'll catch us competing. So that's the main thing.
How did you feel the Rock come together, and how cool was it to meet?
Yeah, that was awesome. I think the Rock, he was awesome. He was as big as he think he looks. He's a great dude first off, and he took the time to come and learn about our lives and our stories, and did a photo shoot with him and those guys. Got to meet some of those other guys. One of the DBs from Miami that I threw an interception to was talking trash, Cam. So Brock Bowers was awesome, and some of those guys, Angel Reese, and actually one of our Amaya Gaynors is her brother, she's a softball player that's down there. Her brother's a Mario Gainer. He keeps them in for us. So just gotten to see a small world and talk to those guys and see their stories. And obviously, all come together for a rock photo shoot was pretty dope. So it was awesome.
Drake, I know we've asked you a lot about the new additions, things like that. But what makes this year's kind of offense? I know fall camp and everything hasn't happened yet. But what do you think makes this year's offensive attack unique to last year's? Just with new receiving coordinator.
Yeah, I think the main thing is I think a second year of me. I think that's a big deal. I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of what defense they bring at me. So a year under my belt, I'll be hopefully a better player and have new experiences. And also, I think it takes the first few games to kind of realize what your identity is. See who's making plays and who's kind of taking a big role and who's taking a small role in the top and who's making bigger plays than we thought. So just kind of shaping that aspect in the first couple games and then catching that with what we know and taking that on the run and running with it.
Sure. And going off of that, you mentioned that year of experience now on the field as a starter. Are there any differences in preparation going into this season now versus last year?
Yeah, I think the only thing I'd probably say is kind of compare. Obviously, we'll have some games that hopefully, other than South Carolina, we'll have a game on everybody else that season. Just comparing, if we're playing the same team, comparing what they're doing to what they did to me last year, seeing if there are any differences. And obviously, new personnel, you're always facing new guys and seeing how he's going to impact the game. But at the same time, just looking back, keep the same approach. I try to keep the same approach. I'm not trying to change anything up. Not trying to, like I said, reinvent the wheel.
Drake, what does the NC State rivalry mean to you, and what are you looking forward to this fall about getting another shot at them?
I think anytime NC State and North Carolina are going at it, it's going to be a rivalry. I don't think we like them; they don't like us. So I think they got us last year. I could have made some plays to make that a different story, but they got a good team. They had a good program. They've done a good job over there, and they're too close to Chapel Hill for us to keep. I think 2 in a row, maybe 3 in a row. I don't know stats. 2 in a row. 2 in a row. Sam won his sophomore year, so 2 in a row is too much. Even 1 in a row. So flip that script and get back at him this year. Going to their place would be a rowdy atmosphere. I'm looking forward to it.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, shoot, I've got probably 15 already. That's the thing you love about playing here in Charlotte. Everybody wants to come. We got old friends, old coaches around here want to support. And this city means so much to me. And my brother lives about a block away. He's down there working downtown. So it's awesome. Charlotte's a great place, and it means a lot playing here.
Drake, you kind of spoke to forming that identity, and Coach Brown and Coach Lindsey have both really emphasized the run game. You were Carolina's leading rusher last year, I believe. How, with kind of a healthier running back room, are you hoping to take some of that pressure off? You guys were riddled with injuries in that department last year, and kind of help take some pressure off of you and the offense in general, getting some big runs on first down.
No doubt. I think anytime running the football opens up, like I said, play action opens up doors for one-on-one matchups. So running the football is the game of football, the sport of football. Running the football, stopping the run. So just finding ways to balance that out. I think we got a great room. We got about 5 or 6 guys that can tote the rock. So just find which one steps up, which 2 or 3 may step up and contribute to big plays. But at the same time, I like to do my thing back there. So not trying to marry the run game. I like to think myself can make some plays back there with the ball, and just finding merit to finding easy yardage. I think throwing some screens or throwing some shovel pitches here and there for easy yards and just making it easier on us. So we're not behind the chains.
Are those screens and shovel passes something Coach Lindsey's kind of incorporated throughout spring practice and then over the summer?
Yeah, I think anytime new offensive coordinators, he brings some stuff, some wrinkles like that are good. That these ACC coordinators and defenses haven't seen yet from us. So just finding ways for those to get new yards and get easier yards and making it 2nd and 7 versus 2nd and 10. And, just find some ways like that.
You told us back in the spring, one of your points of emphasis this offseason was to improve your footwork.
Yeah.
Are you satisfied with the work you've done?
Yeah, I like to say now when I'm on air, I like to say I'm satisfied, but it's a different ball sport when live guys are coming at you. You don't really get a good gauge in fall camp. You get a better gauge than you do in an air because guys are around you. But until those guys are able to hit me, it's a little different story. So I think I'll gauge that at the end of the season. But I'm satisfied with my work this off season, and I felt like I've put in the good work footwork wise to make a difference, and I'm hoping it pays off.
I know that was one of the important factors when you talked to Coach Lindsey before he was hired.
Yeah.
How has that relationship gone with him, specifically in the realm on the field.
No doubt. I think Coach Lindsey, the best thing about him is, from all 5 of us in the room, he wants the same footwork and the same drop on each play. So he's hard on us. He kind of lets us feel it out on a play, what all of us, us 5 in the room think is the best footwork for that play. If he doesn't see that footwork on that play, he won't get on you. And I think that's the best thing about being coachable and him getting on me. I think that's great. I don't do everything right. I don't plan on doing everything right this season. So we're gonna have some mistakes. I'm gonna have some stuff I need to clean up. And I think he's been a good job of staying hard on me and keeping me honest.
I was just talking to Cedric about the difference between a noise around the team now as opposed to 2 years ago. He said there are much more loud voices that resonate as opposed to 2 years ago. You named a bunch of guys on defense. John says it's like that on offense. Is that what you've seen as well?
I think a lot of guys that have had some years of work. That's the big thing. It's hard to create honesty and trust within your teammates if you aren't putting it on the field and in games. And guys like John said, they've done that. They guys, you don't want to speak too much and yell too much, guys, and stop listening to you. So I think we've had a lot of different guys, kind of a core group. We got a leadership council that we have on the team that guys can go to and go within players. John and Seth are both on the leadership council. We go to guys and we can say, hey, this guy made me pick it up, or this guy, what do you think of him? And just go to guys and keep everybody honest and try to carry that bottom tier of those guys and bring them up to the level of trying to surround ourselves with the guys that want to be like us. So that's the main thing.
Drake, at the end of last year, there was a lot of speculation about other schools offering things to give me an idea of what sorting through all that stuff is like.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the best thing about that situation, I was telling people earlier, is I wasn't really in any contact with any college, and I didn't want to be. I think that's not kind of represent who I am and what this university means to me. I would have, if anything would have happened, which I didn't plan on it, because this is my dream school. I love playing quarterback for the University of North Carolina, and I would have went to Coach Brown and handled it the right way. I think all the rumors behind the back stuff, I don't think that was portrayed the right way. I think even the Pittsburgh coach, I'm not sure where he got that number from. I wasn't even aware of it. So I don't think a lot of the rumors kind of arise and went kind of behind the fence of what I was aware of. So I just never planned on leaving North Carolina. This school means so much to me, and I had to post a social media post about I was staying, and I didn't think I needed to do that. I thought people would kind of figure that out on their own. But it was really never. They try to contact my old coaches and my parents. But at the end of the day, I never directly spoke to anybody.
Drake, Scott Fowler from Charlotte.
Yes, sir. It's going on. Good
to
see you.
Yes, sir. If you were meeting someone who had never met Matt Brown before, how would you describe him?
Yeah, that's a great question. Coach Brown, he's the most genuine, and he's the best with names I've ever known. You'll meet him for 2 seconds one day, 3 seconds, and you see him 2 years later, he'll know your name. He's the best. He knows your name, knows your family member's name, he cares about them, and the best thing Coach Brown is, he's always got a smile on him. You rarely catch him in a bad mood. He cares about you. He wants the best for everybody. And anytime you ever need anything, Coach Brown, that's the best thing about us players. Feel like you can go to him and ask him for anything.
Drake went with the
air conditioning company.
Jesus Christ, Brett.
Mitchell, yes sir, yeah.
Drake, you mentioned Sam Howell earlier about talking to him about what went right, what went wrong, lessons learned from a couple years ago. What were some of the things he said didn't go right, or what he would do differently, maybe as he was giving advice to you with a high pressure season?
I know that's a good question. Like I said, that was kind of the main thing I tried to take from him. What things he'd do over, what things he'd do again. The best thing that I got from him that he said he enjoyed, that was important to him, was taking care of all the off-field stuff like NIL, and obviously agents are in the world now. Taking care of that stuff before the season, and even having an idea or getting that done and not worrying about that during the season. Kind of having that not on your mind as you're going out there for a snap against Duke or something. Taking that out of it, just worrying about football that season. And obviously, I think one of the cooler things he mentioned was getting your degree and how that can mean so much. And he got his in about 3 years, so he did it fast. He's a smart kid, and how he can go on and do better things outside of football now. After football, and hopefully his career lasts a long time. I'm excited for him this year. He just started one of his first days of camp, and the Commanders heard he had a great practice, so I need to keep in touch. He's awesome. So I think, like I said, I'll continue to ask him because he's been through everything. Same road. He's from Charlotte, went to North Carolina. played here. So just trying to, in this day and age with all the same stuff. So just trying to, like I said, soak up all I can from him because he's lived it, and I want to be in the position he's at.
All right, Greg.
Good. Yep. Sweet.